Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that.
Buckle up, big boss, K-Po, talk boxing. Before I get my soliloquy, tough talks don't last. Good people do an opposite. Call me if I not maybe you matter. Peak game, ready for what's what. So the other day I was watching Terence Crawford fight, right? I was watching him fight, what's that boy name? Mean Machine. Okay, the fight he got dropped there. Okay? And one thing that I saw in there is I saw him get dropped, but I saw him bring that dog out. He went in there, and then after that, he stopped Radjimov, right? Radjimov, Mean Machine. When it came down to IQ, it wasn't a sense of he was out-thinking Mean Machine. It was just, he just had more dog than Mean Machine, right? But I also went back and watched the L. Spence fight. And when I watched that fight, I would say it was a perfect game plan. I told you that. Very perfect. That was the first fight that I seen Crawford put his offense and defense together. But when I rewatched it the other day, I really analyzed and I said, he not really using high boxing IQ. He's just more athletic than a lot of guys he get in the ring with, right? So when it came down to L. Spence, the L. Spence fight, Crawford was just more athletic. I didn't think it came down to boxing IQ. Right? I think he just more athletic. He just went in there and realized I'm faster than him. Right? I got better feet. And I'm just going to throw him between his shots. Right? Now, of course, you got to have a fight plan when you go in any fight. Right? But all I'm saying at the end of the day is when he went into the fight and he got in the ring and he was able to see, it's kind of like when you start sparring, right? Once you find out who you are as a fighter and you get in there, pause that ring with certain people, and you're like, oh, this dude, okay, cool. I'm faster than him, so I can just do this. I could walk him down. It's like Crawford is more athletic. He's an athletic specimen. You know what I mean? That's what we give him credit for. I feel like Crawford is a guy that relies on his athleticism. He's not like a fundamentally sound fighter. Because when you watch him throw a lot of shots, sometimes his chin in the air, but he makes up for it because he has the feet work to get out of the way and maneuver out of way of certain shots. So he can make a fundamental flaw, but he's fast enough to be able to get out the way, if that makes sense. Kind of like Devin Haney. Devin Haney got that bow and arrow jab, right? The bow and arrow jab, which Floyd Mayweather does too, right? They do the bow and arrow jab where it's like their hand down here, right? And their chin kind of go up. Right? So you're doing the bow and arrow jab, right? And a lot of guys early on will throw a counter, but they're able to get out of the way of it, right? Same thing with Crawford. Okay? Not a very fundamentally sound fighter. He's athletic, though. Very athletic guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think people get misconstrued. And don't get it twisted. I'm not going to sit here and say he's dumb. Like, you know, he got boxing IQ. But I think they overhype his boxing IQ, right? Canelo Alvarez, I've literally seen him stay fundamentally sound and get a guy out of there and set up a shot. The Edgar Berlanga fight, right? Canelo Alvarez was jabbing to the body, right? Jabbing upstairs, feinting, jabbing to the body, feinting, jabbing upstairs. And then Berlanga dropped his hand just a little bit. Canelo feinted, came over the top. Hook. That's when he dropped him. Jaime Munguia, same thing. When he landed that uppercut, that combination, it was like a uppercut, left hook, and he dropped Jaime Munguia. He was setting it up. You know what I'm saying? You see that with Floyd. Floyd, when he fought Diego Castillo, same thing. Stiff jab to the solar plex. Feint upstairs. Jab to the face. Feint to the stomach. Right? He kept him guessing. And then next thing you know, feint, hook over the top, drop Diego Castillo. Or not Castillo, Corrales. Diego Corrales. So you see, you know what I'm saying, the setup. You know what I mean? Well, Crawford, he don't really set things up like that. You know what I mean? He only had one fight where I seen him actually thinking in there, and that was Victor Postal. Right? But against Errol, didn't really see him thinking in there. He's just more athletic. Against Sean Porter, didn't really see him thinking in there. He just was like, I'm not losing. That he just was like, F it, let's go. And he was able to throw in between Porter shots, and he caught him and dropped him. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times. Right? And I know Bubba can be like, it was IQ. It was boxing IQ. You don't know boxing. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. You can't prove me wrong. Right? Now, I still feel like Crawford is more athletic than Canelo. He is. Right? But Canelo has high boxing IQ. I feel like Canelo has more experience of having to utilize that high boxing IQ. Fighting Triple G. Fight that's tooth and nail, right? And he got to figure out how to get this power punch off her. Because Triple G is a Ukrainian, right? And Ukrainians, they have high boxing IQ, all of them. Even if they are power punchers. The Ukrainians, the Russians, they all got high boxing IQ, right? All of them. When they teach their fighters gonna know, they fighters gonna have high boxing IQ. Our fighters in America, we just naturally gifted, right? We could throw something and be like, I don't know, I just threw it. I just saw it was open, I threw it. Them Russians, I saw him, I study him. I know that he like to throw this punch. So I threw this punch to set up this punch, and I crash his head. Mother Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do stuff like that. You know, I think Crawford, man, is getting a little bit too much. You know, they giving him too much credit, bro. Like, and I'm not sitting here saying he's a horrible fighter. I'm not sitting here saying he's a bad fighter. I'm not sitting here saying that he got bad IQ. He do got boxing IQ, high boxing IQ. I just think how they talking about his IQ is a little overhyped. I think Canelo got more boxing IQ than Crawford because of the type of fights he been in, and he's shown that he had to use this, right? He fight bigger guys, so he got to use this. He ain't got to no fight where he went that steamroller dude. Even with Amir Khan, the fight where he body bag and toe tag that boy, right? That fight, he used boxing IQ. Amir Khan was putting hands on Canelo. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Amir Khan was winning till he wasn't. Right? And it's going to get put on display again. Canelo going to have to use boxing IQ to beat Terence Crawford. Right? He can't do what, that boy tripping. That boy ran that stop sign. My bad, y'all. He can't, Crawford not going to be able to do what he normally do. He going to have to display that boxing IQ against Canelo. And that's what we really going to see, how high his boxing IQ is. But I want Terence Crawford to pay attention to something. You see how everybody praises you, everybody, Crawford, Crawford. You know, Crawford developed all these fans after he beat Errol. It was like, oh, Crawford's the best. Yeah. See ya. And they developed all these fans, right? I want y'all paying attention. I want Crawford to see if these fans still there if he loses to Canelo Alvarez. So I'm saying, right? Look at Errol. Errol had all these fans when he was on top. Errol took a loss. Errol washed up. He done. He sucks. He never was good. He fought C-class fighters. I just want y'all to pay attention, right? If you really a fan of the sport of boxing, you understand that fighters gonna take losses, right? So I just want Crawford to pay attention if he take a loss. Canelo already tasted defeat before. And that's why I'm kind of favoring Canelo because of the weight, and he's tasted defeat before. So he not afraid to let his hands go. He ain't afraid to lose, right? When you've taken losses, I'm just saying in life, when you've taken losses in life, you're not afraid, bro. Right? Like, prime example, I've gotten written up many times at work. I'm not gonna lie to you. I done got written up before many times at work. But I got a coworker that's never been written up before. Right? And he talks about that. Like, oh man, I don't never want to get written up. And it's like, that's his fear. Even when the boss come talk to him, he like, whereas me, I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? We just keep it at 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Crawford, people look at because he ain't lost before as like, oh man, he ain't lost before, so that's why he gonna beat Canelo, because you know he don't want to lose. He gonna try to keep his sometimes that could be a bad thing. When you lost before, prime example, Jamel Charlo, when he lost to Tony Harrison, it revitalized him. It made him a different fighter. When you take that loss, it's like, okay, I done got it out the way. Nah, let's go. Nah, let's get to it. Right? I just feel like at the end of the day, with Terence Crawford, his boxing IQ is good, but I don't think it's as high as people are trying to make it to be. That's all I'm saying. Right? I think y'all trying to make it like he has this superior, high, top class boxing IQ. And truthfully, I don't think it's that high. I think he beats guys. I think it's more athleticism than boxing IQ. That's what I think. Right? And my question to y'all is, if Crawford loses that athleticism, can he still beat a lot of guys? Right? You know, Father Time is undefeated. So let's just say the athleticism goes away by the time he fight Canelo. He gonna get put in a situation where he got it. I mean, either way it go, he gonna have to use boxing IQ for this fight. But is Terence Crawford, my question to y'all, is Terence Crawford boxing IQ a little overhyped? Right? I want y'all to name certain fights in y'all opinion. Right? This is an open panel. I'm not sitting here saying my way is the right way or my thoughts is the end all be all, but I made my argument. I want y'all to follow up in the comment section. Tell me what fights did Terence Crawford show his boxing IQ to make you side with him in this fight against Canelo Alvarez, right? Now, let me throw this disclaimer in there before I close. I'm not watching this fight. This is not a fight that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Terence Crawford versus anybody at 54 or 160. But 154 is cracking, so I wanted him to shore up that resume. He not doing that. I want to see Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez. That's it. That's what I want from Canelo. David Benavidez. That's it. So we shall see how this thing goes, right? Hopefully we get these fights in the future, you know, but I highly doubt it, you know. But this is not a fight that I want to watch, so I'm not watching it. Now, we do have a wager, okay? The wager is if Crawford Canelo breaks Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor's pay-per-view numbers, we got 100 push-ups on the line and money donated to charity, right? If Crawford stops Canelo, we got 50 push-ups on the line. You got to post your video showing you doing the push-ups. If Crawford stops Canelo, I will do my 50 push-ups, right? And I will put them on my channel. If this breaks records, the fight breaks records, I will do my push-ups, post it on my channel, and post my ticket of me donating to charity, right? We got that on the line. Let's see if y'all men that stand on y'all 10 or women that stand on y'all 10. Shout out to the women, 2 6 boxing. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let's go.